and welcome to Knit Night 59 of the Sweet Lavender Knits podcast. My name is Christine and I'm coming to you from just outside of Toronto, Ontario in Canada. Today is February the 28th. It's Sunday morning. If you are new, welcome, and to those that are returning, welcome back. This is a weekly podcast and it's I call it my Knit Night because I don't have a local knit group to go to. I don't think anyone does at this point, but even otherwise I don't have a local knit group to go to, so I've invited you to mine. It's mainly about knitting, but also all of the other crafts as I fancy them and dabble in them, maybe a little bit of crochet. Today I have some crochet to share with you on an ongoing project. Both my projects today are going to be ongoing projects that I thought I would just do on a monthly basis. So yes, why don't you grab your needles, your favorite project, something nice to drink, and let's get started. So welcome, and like I said, I do welcome you to this knit night, whether it is knitting or any other craft that brings you here. I hope you will get some crafting done while you watch and spend some time with me. I do appreciate all of your love, your support, your comments, your likes, those of you that have subscribed. I'm very thankful for it, and it does really give me a purpose to continue doing this a weekly knit night. And if you are wondering, we are still here in lockdown, although I think in some areas they are easing restrictions, or they were thinking of it and then they decided not to. So what can I tell you about the last week? It is the last week of the month, and it is, in my world, we are very, very busy, and the week has just been that. It's just been another crazy week of busyness. Thank you for all of your lovely comments in regards to my the pain that I've been having in my arm, and yes, I am trying to be careful with it. And actually, as you will probably see from my projects today, that I didn't do much crafting during the week. I did a little bit of catch up yesterday on Saturday, and tried to take it slow. So my spinning, I think I only did about 2 days this week, and even then it was very short. I just tried to keep it short. So I didn't, I tried to do spinning for 3 times a week or every other day, and this week I've just been doing it when I felt like it and when I felt like I wouldn't hurt my arm even more. So basically the pain in my arm just started a few weeks ago, but it's just been getting a little, I don't know, there are days when it's worse than others, and so it's not consistent pain throughout, like every day, or it's not increasing consistently. It's just some days are worse than others. And so I've had some changes in my workstation setup at home, my work office at home. I've gotten 2 monitors now instead of the laptop and the monitor, because maybe the laptop was smaller and I was sort of maybe leaning into it, which forced me to turn towards one side. So now it's like evened out, and my son was very nice enough to help me set it up yesterday. So yes, I am hoping that eases it up, and I have a gaming chair to sit in to make it comfortable, but my desk is not one of those adjustable height desks. So you know, there will need to be some ergonomic assessment done to see if there is anything more I can do about it. We had quite a bit of snow last week, but then it was very icy on certain days, and then it just rained and it almost melted away. But I think that is like, I've been listening to a few podcasts, and it seems like that has been the weather around a lot of places, not just here in Toronto, Ontario. All right, so like I said, I don't have a lot to share with you, but during the whole month I am working through these two blankets. I thought it'll be nice if they make monthly appearances at the end of each month, just to show you the progress that I've been doing with those two blankets through the month, and that way it'll sort of motivate me to keep going, you know, adding to the blanket. And also, I wouldn't be showing it to you too often where you get bored. I don't have any finished objects today, so let's start with works in progress. First off, I will do the smaller of the blanket, which is not anywhere near a blanket, but it's more like a lap cover at this point, which is nice that it's getting bigger. It is my Battenberg blanket. It's a free pattern, and it's a crochet pattern, free pattern on Ravelry by Sandra Cherryheart. And she has a lovely podcast in case you are into crochet, and lovely patterns, and lots of them, the blanket patterns at least, are free. So if you're looking to get into a big project and you like crochet, and Mom, if you're watching, it's, you know, I'm letting you know that is one, and I will put the link down to her channel below so you can check it out. Lovely projects. So this is the Battenberg blanket, and I can tell you I love working on it, but it is all fingering weight yarn, and so it takes me a while. I do like, you know, it depends on the day. I do all of the individual squares, and I just collect them, and then when I have more time, I put in the squares into the blanket. So the blanket is it has a main color, which is this cream color, and that is the Ecru by Holtsgarn that I'm using, and it's the Holtsgarn Supersoft. I have a large cone of it, a 500-gram cone of it, and I'm working through that now. And it is just bits and bobs of different yarn that I have with me, and I would just put them in. So you can see that some of them are thicker than others, although all of them are fingering weight yarn. This one is a larger one, and this is from my Beaumont jumper that I used just a little bit of leftover. This is some lovely yarn that I've made a hat for my mom out of. This is one that I really like. She no longer dyes. It's Poivre, I think it is, and it was a nice green, like a limey green, but a muted green, which is still bright, and it is by Herbsplat Regina. And yeah, so just a whole bunch of yarn, and I took some footage right at the beginning of the blanket, because I was trying to show how this blanket started off being a project that I wanted to make for my daughter for her graduation. Obviously, well, it's not obvious to you, but my daughter has since graduated, and she is already in university, graduated from high school, and she's in university. Yeah, the blanket is nowhere near it, and she kind of makes fun of it. And so now it's a running joke between the two of us that it'll be ready probably for her wedding or something. Who knows? And hopefully that's a few years from now. Yes, so this is what we do. So now it's become a joint project between us, where I am doing all of the work on the blanket, but the placement of the colors, I wanted her to choose where it goes. So we just go through, laid out, and I'll put a picture down here, and pin all of the next squares in, because the way this blanket works is that you crochet in these white squares as you go through with it. So I would have to join it like this, and then so I need a color to join in here, and so when I'm doing this square, I would need this color in here to join in as well. So that makes sense. So we went through it last night and pinned up all of the colors for the next row, and so now I am I think it was 10 squares diagonal, and so the next row would have my 11th square on it, and so that's where I am. It's slow progress, like I said, but it is one that I really, really like. I like the look of it. Even the back of it looks really nice. Look at that. I think it looks really nice. And yes, I am just going to continue working through it, and it's just a mishmash of colors. I try to keep it towards the lighter side, but obviously, as you can see, not all of them are light. Some of them are a little bit brighter, but and I even have a brown one in here, or it's more like the mustard actually. It's a mustard, but it goes in, like once the whole thing is done, it'll just, I think it'll look nice. So that is my first work in progress that I wanted to share with you. And the second one is the second blanket that I'm working on. And this one is my granny stripe blanket. It's a free pattern by Addict24. And it's also a crochet blanket. So both my blankets are crochet blankets. I did start a mitered square blanket. I forgot what the name of that blanket was. I started it, and then I lost love with it just because I had so when you do the mitered square, it sort of gives you a diagonal line, and I messed up that, and then it didn't bother me. I thought it didn't bother me, but it did. So I ended up just unpicking all of those squares and using them into this blanket actually. So yes, I needed more colors in here, and this is where it is. The last time I showed you, I was right here after having ripped back a couple of times. So some of it is worked twice. Some of the length of this is worked twice. And so yes, I would have done a lot more if I didn't have to rip back. But this is where I was the last time I showed you. And I've been working on this one stripe a day. And I can tell you that there were maybe 2 or 3 days where I didn't do any stripes, but then what I did is the following day I would make up for it by doing 2 stripes instead of 1. And so we're about 31, 32 stripes, I think it is, so far, and that is from the last time I would have shown you. So I am looking forward to keeping progress. I'll probably switch up this marker because it's kind of hard to see. It's a lovely progress keeper of a crown, and it's from the Little French Meadow, who no longer dies, unfortunately. But yes, I've had some fun with this blanket, and for those of you who have been watching for a while, these colors here, the lilac or periwinkle, I think it was, this green, this blue, and the pink are colors that I dyed up. So yeah, it holds quite, and it's getting bigger. So it is this wide, if I can hold it back, I'd say about 1 meter, and 300, well, I shouldn't say that because I don't know the count in actual stitches, but these clusters, there are 101 clusters, and plus the four chain connection right at the end. I'm not a crocheter as far as the technical terms, so please bear with me. But the clusters are double crochets US terms, and there are 101 of these clusters. So yes, that is what I've been up to, and just loving it. I like it because it's huge now. It's kind of like, it's nice to keep on my lap while I'm crocheting it, and it keeps me warm, and it's cozy. and I know that I don't know how I'm going to block it. I was chatting with one of my Instagram friends, and she was doing her blanket too, and hers is, I believe, larger than this, and she said she hadn't thought about blocking it, and I thought, yeah, that's the same. I don't know how to block this, or I don't even know if it needs to be blocked after it's so big, but it'll need a wash because it's been so long since I've gotten to this point. So yeah, we'll figure it out when we get there. And that's what I have for you as far as works in progress. Moving on to lovely things. So yesterday I did some yarn dyeing, and I am, for those of you who are new, I have just started dabbling in some yarn dyeing, and like I showed you, these colors that I put into my blanket, those were like mini skeins that I just tried different colors to see how it comes out, and just a technique, or one of the techniques, I think, in that case. So I wanted to try some different techniques yesterday, and also to be able to dye up the yarn for Cheryl, who was the winner of our Sweet Lavender sock along that ended on January the 31st. I had been meaning to get around to doing that, but I had to like work myself up to, you know, or get myself ready to be able to dye the yarn, and I have to sort of walk through the process in my mind a few times before I could get there. And one that I have been totally inspired about for dyeing yarn has been Kay of the Bakery Bears. Some of their recent shows since the beginning of January, she's been doing different dyeing techniques for her that she used to dye yarn. I don't know if she still does, but some of that. But I watched some of the older ones too back in September, I think. So I decided on some colors, and I went for it yesterday and spent the day just trying different things and really enjoying it. I do like the idea of dyeing yarn, but because I don't have a designated area, it means a lot of prep work before and after, and that can get a little tedious. So yes, all in all, to say that I thought I would have the yarn dry and skein to be able to show it to you today, which would be part of the lovely things, but it's still soaking wet. So I will probably take some pictures and share it with you the next time, and in the meantime try and get the package out to Cheryl. So Cheryl, if you are watching, I have now dyed up the yarn, and the skein of yarn will come to you soon. But I do want to share this lovely thing that I received, and it was a gift from my mom. And she and I both have a love for orchids. On my mom's travels, when we could travel back, I think it's about a year now, she was in Thailand and visited a lovely orchid house, and she brought me back some gifts. And then this week she gifted me this that she had in her purchases from then, and she actually liked it for herself, but then she saw me, you know, show these shawls on the knitting podcast and thought this would make a really nice shawl pin. And it's an orchid. It's actually like a brooch that I could use as a shawl pin for when I wear it on the podcast. So thank you, Mom. That it's a beautiful orchid, and it's a dendrobium, if anyone is wondering. But the colors, of course, are just my colors. It's very mauvey with a sort of a creamy yellow center, and it's a lovely shawl pin. Lovely presentation box. And the name of the place that she got it from, I can't seem to take it out. It's called AirOrchid supermarket, and it's been in operation since 2004, so I'll put that there. And it's in Bangkok. If you are interested, and comes in a lovely gift box like this, so that is my lovely thing for today. Thank you very much, Mom. So yes, it has been a short one, I hope. I know I will be doing a lot of editing on this one, but I hope you've enjoyed sitting and getting some crafting done, or even if it was just relaxing while watching this podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a lovely week ahead of you, a wonderful March, and hopefully we will get some brighter weather. The days are definitely getting brighter, and I hope you stay safe and keep healthy, and find some time to do all the things you love. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, happy knitting. Bye bye.